Ordinary average guy podcast show. Whoa. Hey everybody, it's the Ordinary Average Guy podcast show coming at ya, previously recorded from the Buxty Hootie Studios. Episode number 33. 33, my grandpa's favorite number, for I was told once upon a time. I'm also, I like that number too. I like any number that has like two numbers next to each other, like 3, 3, 11, 22, 33, 44, 55, 66. Yeah, yeah, I'll stand by that statement. I like that. I like that when that happens. Um, Sorry I wasn't here last week. I heard that we had a good episode though. I heard that we had a really good episode. Nigel Lennox was in. Man, I can't believe I missed that. I can't miss. It was well, like they say, I was. Well, I think Josh told you I was a little. I was under the weather a little bit. So, but I'm all back and ready to rock and roll. Back to good to go. So anyway, this week I was thinking about what I could talk about for the episode, and I came across some notes that I've written down for the last couple of years. And I got kind of excited about this week's episode. Is it going to be a funny episode? Probably not going to be too funny. This is going to be a learning episode, an educational episode, if you will. Now I know in the past those haven't always gone over so well. Uh, I'm thinking the grass episode. Um, I think the budget episode went over okay, but I look around and I see people always freaking out, and I thought to myself, there's something at work in a regular normal job that I have, I think, kind of gotten okay at, and it's about efficiency and productivity. The episode of this, I'm going to name this episode "Stress in the Workplace." Reason being is because when I look around, now there's some people that are just stressed, right? Some people are just wired. They're just not. It's just not all there, or whatever. We all know people like that, right? We all know people that are they just want to be stressed out. It's almost like they want to be stressed out and whatever. But then there's people I think that are trying to do a good job or trying to do good work. They're just stressed out, and it's the anxiety. Um, which when I'm a, when I started doing and working in the real world, that affected me. Right? You want to do a good job. You're always afraid you're gonna get shit canned, so you're always just anxious and stressed out. Well, sorry about that. I've gotten over the years. I've read books and watched videos and done studying on the topic, and I pretty much came up with the 5 major steps to being efficient and productive. Now, these are major steps, so you can have all sorts of subcategories. But I wanted to share these steps with you because I wrote these down because these have been helping me out for years now. And I figured since I don't have anyone funny to have on the show this week, maybe I'll just share this with you guys and maybe it can help you guys out. So at the end of the day, we're gonna have a kick-ass looking grass. We're gonna have an awesome budget, and now we're gonna be stress-free in the workplace. So you might ask yourself, how did I come up with these 5 steps? Like I said, these are not. This is not rocket science. This is just things. Mindfulness. You guys ever hear of mindfulness? Being mindful. That's when you're living in the now. You're kind of just you're writing down things. You're taking note. You're living in the now. You're not worried about the future or the past. You're just living in the now. and then you are aware of what's going on. Well, that's how I came up with some of this stuff. Now, all of this stuff. Now, like I said, a lot of this stuff is just it's nothing new. It's just these are all things that you have heard, but I'm just kind of putting them in. But I guess what I'm trying to say is I do this. I use this strategy, and it works. Have you ever seen? Well, so number one, if you want to get rid of stress in the workplace, number one is it's going to sound cliche, it's going to sound dumb, but it's legit. Just do your best. It's legit. Do your best. Be humble. Don't think you're king shit. Just do your best, and the rest will just kind of work out, right? So one thing that I have learned, unless your employer is just a terrible, terrible person or entity or whatever, if you legit do your best, you're good. You're probably not going to get, maybe you won't get raises, maybe you won't get promotions, but I don't think you're going to get kicked to the curb either. Like if you do your best, you generally do your best. I think you're in the clear for the most part. But again, that's I don't know how to say this. It's do your best, but just don't be a dick. Don't be a dick, right? Do your best. Be humble. And it's kind of an easy one. Number two, though, this is the thing, right? So you're gonna do your best. You're gonna try not to make mistakes. But the thing is, you have to understand that you're gonna make mistakes, and that's kind of where the humbleness comes from. Now, you gotta learn from your mistakes. Number one, yes, try not to make mistakes. Definitely do your best. But number two, realize and accept that you're going to make mistakes, right? A good employer. Now, I always feel like, and I feel like I'm in the situation where a good employer will chalk mistakes and maybe the money lost to making mistakes, they're going to chalk it up to training, more or less. So when you make mistakes, do I have do I have any statistics here to prove this? No, but I know for a fact that learning from your mistakes is the best way to grow and become more knowledgeable in whatever you're trying to learn. It's in a book called, it's not called this, but it's a phrase, fail forward, right? Fail forward. You're going to make mistakes. The number two thing on this list there is just understand that you're going to make mistakes. It's gonna happen. Now here's the thing. You need to understand you're gonna make mistakes, but you don't want to make mistakes, but you have to understand that you're going to make mistakes. And when you do make mistakes, you need to learn from that mistake. That's the trigger here. So that's the kicker. When you make a mistake and you go into your boss or whoever, supervisor, and you talk about it, and they don't, and they ask you a question like, well, what happened? You better have an answer. That's the thing. You need to learn from the mistake. And if you don't have an answer to it, yeah, then that's going to be a rough one. Or if you make the same mistake a second or third time, yeah, then you might be a little stressed. But the thing is when you make a mistake, know that you're going to make a mistake, and then second, learn from the mistake. I personally believe, and this is probably going to be an unordinary opinion in a way, but I think that when you start a new job or whatever it is you're doing, this is definitely an unpopular opinion, but I think being thrown to the wolves is a good way of training somebody. Sink or swim. With a caveat. I think like sink or swim, but as a trainer, you should throw them life preservers, here and there. Like here's something. Here's a noodle, hold on to the noodle, or here's a little toy duck, hold on to the toy duck. And those life preservers are, hints and tips and tricks, but you need to let them. You kind of got to let them struggle. Um, I really truly think that that's the best way that you're ever going to get good at your job, because you can learn something in a book, or you can learn something in a case study or something like that. But when you really, you know, are doing the job and you're learning on the fly and you make the mistake, as I was talking about before, that's the shit that's going to live with you for the rest of your life and make you and potentially eat and potentially crush you or make you better. Um, what I'm sitting here is telling you is I can tell you that learning from your mistakes is um, knowing that you're going to make a mistake and then knowing that you're going to learn from them and fail forward. That helps you with your anxiety. As weird as this may sound, and this is going to sound weird, and I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but I've almost like sometimes, I don't know, this doesn't make any sense, and it's not mistakes, but challenges. I kind of look forward. I never was one really to look forward to challenges, and I'm not saying that I'm jumping up and down, um, waving my arm and hand in the air, yelling like, "Hey, please give me a challenge! I want to be challenged so badly." Um, but I do look forward to it more than I have, because I know that when you're challenged, you'll make, the mistakes again. I've hit it killed, I beat that to death. But also you just are going to learn so much more by being challenged and really being like I said before, thrown in the den of wolves, thrown to the wolves. So, um, next time, what I'm telling you here is next time you're at work and you have an opportunity to be challenged, take it. And if you make mistakes, learn from them. And it's not like I've had 1,000 jobs in my life. I've only had like a couple. But when you learn, if you do know this in the back of your head, when you make the mistake, if you learn from it and you can tell a person what you've learned, I think a good and this is for supervisors as well. You're a good supervisor if you chalk that up to training and, let them continue on their merry way. So, stress in the workplace. Number one, do your best. If you do your best, there is no reason that you should be stressed out or anxious. If you do your best, right? You leave it all out on the court, and you get in your little car and you're driving home at nighttime, and you're headed home, and you're looking in the rearview mirror and you're like, I did my best. You give yourself a little pep talk. You have no reason to be anxious. You have no reason to be stressed. Number two, learn from your mistakes. If you do that, A, you will just get better over time, and B, you will look forward to challenges. Now we're getting into the real. Again, this isn't. Now we're getting into the main thing here. What does the Ken man, the J-Kenn, right? I'm not gonna lie to you. I go to work, and I don't want to. I mean, I get stressed out, anxious once in a while. Sometimes I'll be getting pissed off or whatever. You have that, but for the most part, I think I kind of keep it cool, keep it under wraps, cool as a cucumber. Trying to, you ever see that episode of Seinfeld where George is really upset, or he's not upset, he's just like pretending he's really busy. He's like, I got a lot to do, and everyone's like, treating him like he's amazing. I think that the reason that was on the episode is because that's true. People I don't know if when you act like you are so busy and you're so stressed, you just act stressed and you just act like you're just so busy, yada yada yada. It gets old. I mean, people generally do think like, oh my God, look at this guy. He is so busy. He works so hard, and it's all a sham. It's all a sham. Yeah. If you want to be a cool guy like J-Kenn, don't do that. Don't be all like, oh, I got so much to do. I'm so work. Oh my God. Blah, 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 blah. Just get yourself situated. Be cool as a cucumber. do your work, do a good job, do the best you can, and then and rock and roll. And there's no reason to be anxious or stressed because it's not going to help you out. A, it's gonna hinder your work. B, if you're all stressed out, you're gonna screw up. So number three, how do you not be stressed? Now here's the real deal. These three things. Number one, again, this is not brain science. Make a master list. Okay? A master list. Now I recommend, oh, it just blows my mind how many people that I deal with that do not have a list of things they need to do. It's all in their head, or maybe it's written down, but there's some over here, some over there, sticky notes all over the place, or it's or I don't know. I have no idea. Or, what? It's just unreal how people do not write things down. If you have a whatever it is, even if it's at home, I always you write down a list, pen to paper, and you write it down. What do you need to do? Make a master list. Write down what you have to do. This way, you're going to visualize it. And that right there is going to help with the anxiety. Because when you don't have nothing, if you don't have anything written down, you don't have a roadmap. Right now, you have it written down, it's in front of you, and and when you check it off, it feels fantastic. That's legit. I've already have it. Here's a personal story where I'm freaking out about something. Writing down what I had to or have to do, just doing that alone made me feel better. It just made me feel better. Just getting it on paper, getting it out of my brain into paper made me feel better. Um, Now, here's the thing. When you write all that stuff down, it's a possibility that that could be a trigger for you to become anxious again. You're like, oh my God, look at all the stuff I have to do. But this is the big one. This is maybe even, um, you can make a list, but if you don't do number four, making a list probably isn't even going to help you. Number four is a big one. You need to prioritize the list. Okay? That's the big one. You need to prioritize the list. So, you have a master list. You got everything written down on there that you need to do. Maybe you're working on a project that has a due date of March 5th. Huh? March 5th. That sounds like a good one. March 5th. Okay, well, what are you going to do? What you have to break that down into chunks. Break it down into chunks, and this is where you prioritize the list. You come up with now with that you come up with your daily to-do list, right? Um, when you so basically how I do it is I have my master list. I got things I need to do. Um, whenever. Some have deadlines, some are just something I need to do by a certain date. Some are not important, but they will be important, eventually. Stuff like that. So when I sit down at the end of the day, I take my list and I write down my to-do list for the following day. I personally do it at night or in the afternoon before I go home for the work. Before I go home from work for the day. I do it in the afternoon. Is what I should have said that. Reason being is in the morning I don't want to have that stress, I guess you could say, of trying to figure out everything I need to do that day. Okay? This is just me here. I don't know if this is any science behind this or not, but when you wake up in the morning, you need to, time is of the essence, right? You have to get ready for work. You have to take a shower, probably. You have to, do all your stuff. Morning routine, right? You have to do all this stuff. And there's always that in the back of your head, the clock is ticking. I gotta get going. At the end of the day, you don't have that pressure of needing to get out the door and start the day. So you're more relaxed. And writing out your to-do list when you're in a relaxed state, I think, is beneficial. So that's what I do. At the end of the workday, I sit down, get out, and I have a planner. I would recommend highly going to. I go to Office Max, and I buy the monthly/weekly planner. That's what I do, man. Every day, and then I write down what I got to do the next day. Write down, and then I prioritize them. Okay, that's if you don't prioritize it, you're essentially what's going to happen is you're going to have something on your list like meeting at 9 o'clock, need to uh, work on proposal, work on a proposal. Trying to talk all like big shotish. Work on proposal, get floss. And you're just always going to gravitate towards getting floss because it's the easy one. you know, you need to prioritize it and put the most important thing first on the list because there's a book out there called Eat That Frog. It's by a guy named Brian Tracy. Basically, it's just saying you got to do the thing you don't want to do, you need to do first. You got to prioritize it. Discipline yourself on focusing on the important stuff first. So this is how this would work. So on a daily list, right? Let's say you have you have to go to a meeting at 10 o'clock. All right, well that goes on your daily list at 10 o'clock. There's a time signature to that, so you have to go at 10 o'clock. Let's say you have to meet a potential client at 1 o'clock. Okay, that's at 1 o'clock. So then what else do you do? So now the rest of your day you need to figure out. Now let's say you have a project that's due on the 30th of January. It's the 1st of January. So you break that project up into chunks that you can work on that every single day till it gets complete. Because the deal here is by doing this, what's going to happen is you're going to get the project done with time to spare, right? You're never going to be. See, the thing about stress that I see in other people is that it's just that they're running blind. They're running blind. And, they're not proactive. They let things, and I'm not blaming them. I get guilty of this myself, but all of a sudden something is due and it's like, oh, son of a bitch, I got to get working on this. And then they're stressed out, and then everyone around them is stressed out. But when you focus on something that needs to get done, you break it into chunks, you divvy it up, and you work on it every single day. And then another thing too is knowing that, at the end of the day, knowing that you're not going to get everything done. So that's why you want to prioritize it. You look at your list and say, what could I afford not to get done today? Because at the end of the day, if you just your list is never going to go away. That's another thing you need to understand. Stress in the workplace, your list. Realize to yourself that the list is never going to go away. There's always going to be something on the list. And to be honest with you, if there's something not on the list, then they probably don't need you. So you want something on the list. So yeah, I mean that's exactly it. I mean, if you make a list, if you learn from your mistakes, truly learn from your mistakes, you prioritize what you need to do each and every day. You write down what you need to do each and every single day. Okay? And then the last one here, number 5, then is multitasking is a myth. It's a joke. If you come into me and you say I'm really good at multitasking, I'm not going to say this to you because I'm not that kind of person. But in my brain, I am saying you're lying. There's no way you are good at multitasking because it's a myth. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. One thing that I see and I'm not saying that I'm a professional at this and stuff, but I think I'm pretty good at this. I think my stress levels are somewhat okay. So I wanted to share what I do. Multitasking is a myth. I see everybody. You go down to your office or wherever you work and you look at everyone's computer, just kind of do the old look around the shoulder, and invade their privacy. Invade it for the sake of the exercise. I guarantee you, 2 out of 3, they have their email is open. Their email is open, right? The email is open in the background. They might be working on something and the email, ding, what do? They look and see what the email says. Here's the thing with email. Turn it off. Minimize it. Turn off the notifications. Turn them off. Because when you're working on a project, all right, and all of a sudden you hear that ding, and you stop doing what you're doing, and you go and look at the stupid email, and then you do that, I think they say something like it takes you like 15 minutes to go, to get back into what you were just doing. You are so inefficient by doing that. So now you might be asking yourself, well, first of all, email isn't important. It's not. When it comes to priority, email is low on the list, right? And I'm not saying you should ignore your email, but I'm saying it's low on the list. You get a phone call, okay, maybe see who's calling you, depending on what your job is. See who's calling you, maybe take the phone call, right? Phone call, you get the second phone call in a row. You maybe get that, you get a phone call, and then it's like they call you right back. All right, you got to take it. Text message, you might want to hit back. But when it goes down the list of communication, email is not. Email is get back to me within a day, maybe by the afternoon. Email is not a instant messenger. And I think some people think it should be, and it's not. So what I do personally is, and I pride myself on having something they call inbox zero. Okay, inbox zero. That means in my inbox, nothing. How do I do it? Well, I pick out a specific time each day. Okay, and I've timed myself on, and I'm a guy that gets a lot of emails. Depending on the year, depending on the time of year, I'm a guy that gets a lot of emails. I sit down, I don't do anything else, and I just go through the emails. Now, here's the thing. I do not, depending on the email, I might not just take care of it, but I might add it to the to-do list. That's exactly where the to-do list, that's where the master to-do list comes in, right? So let's say you set a half an hour, and really that's all you need, because you're just going through the inbox. You're just going through it. You got to if you don't need it, delete it. Boom. Don't need it, delete it. All right. Don't need it, delete it. If it's something, or filing. Let's just say it's one of those stupid emails that you're just CC'd in on, and you're just on that CC death reply all deal. You're gonna want to take some time and have folders, file it away, get it out of your inbox. All right. So you delete it, you file it. Don't need it, delete it. If you kind of need it, file it. Then you get to maybe a personalized email to you. It's someone saying, hey, can you help me do this on the 17th of January? Boom. Get out the planner that you bought from Office Max. Right? J-Kenn told you, buy the planner. Put it in the planner, right? File the email or delete it. Get rid of it. You got it written down. I got to help Bill on the 17th at 1 o'clock. Done. Next one. Just go through the emails. Go through them. And either delete it, file it, write down or add it to your to-do list with paper and pen, and then delete it or file it. Get it out of your inbox. I am going to tell you right now, right here, right now, if you have no emails in your inbox, that I can't even explain how great that feels. And I feel it. Now here's how you're not going to get to inbox zero, is because you are never focused on it and you're just always trying to do a million things at once. You need to prioritize. That's the big one. You need to set time aside to focus on the emails, to focus on a particular thing. When you're trying to do number one on your list, don't stop halfway and do number two on the list if you can get it done. Stick to it. That's it. That's it, man. I have a job that, yeah, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's kind of an important job. It's kind of important. I'm dealing with some. I mean, I don't want to go into what I do for a living, but it's kind of like a cool thing. I don't know, dealing with making some big decisions, some big money's on the line, stuff like that. And I see people just freaking out all the time, everywhere, just freaking out. And I think there's also this idea of if you're not freaking out, or if you're not stressed, or if you're not anxious, you don't, it's like you don't care. No, that's not it. It's just that I don't want to, have an aneurysm. You know what I mean? Like, so I spent the last 10 years of my life really trying to nail this down. Really trying to nail this down. Like, just not being anxious all the time. When I first started my job, dude, I was a wreck. I was a wreck. And you know what? You get better at it. The thing is, you do get better at the job. You eventually, that's another thing too. You get better at it, become more knowledgeable. And that's the thing. That's why you can't be afraid to make mistakes either, because you don't know what you don't know, dude. You don't know what you don't know, and you're gonna have to make some mistakes. You're gonna have to, someone's gonna call you someone's gonna, yeah, you dumbass. Someone's probably gonna be really mean to you. And especially if you work at a place where there's a bunch of old grumpy dudes, they're like, what the, stupid fucking idiot. You might get some of that, but whatever, it is what it is. It's more on them than it is on you. And you need to just learn from your mistakes, and then you need to be organized. You gotta be organized, and if you are not organized, you will not be productive. You will not be efficient, and you will be stressed. All right. That's all I got. And multitasking is a myth. It's a myth. If someone tells you, if you are ever up for, I dare you, if I'm ever up for a promotion, dude, if I'm ever up for, I'm telling you right now, right here, right now, if I'm ever up for a promotion, and they're like, and someone's like, multitask, I'm gonna say, dude, I don't believe in it. I said, if you want somebody that's gonna tell you that you can multitask, I'm not the guy, because it's a joke. It's a myth. Multitasking. Look it up. Look it up. If someone says I'm good at multitasking, dude, they're gonna waste so much time. They're gonna be wasting so much time. What you do is you get a piece of paper, you get a pen, you write down what you need to do today. You prioritize. Now that's important, but if you don't prioritize it, it's as good as getting thrown away. Prioritize it, baby. Prioritize it. And then you do number 1. And then you do number 2. And then you do number 3. And then you do number 4. And then maybe it's the end of the day and you didn't get to number 5. Well, number 5 is your new number 1, baby. You sit down, you put your list together. That's man, I could run, you know what? I will I could run a $1 billion business at that. Just with these simple steps. These simple steps. I'm telling you, it's not that hard. People want to be stressed, I think. But anyway, I don't know. I'm telling you how you don't get stressed. How you can be calm as cool as a cucumber at work, kicking ass, taking names, and everyone's like, wow, and he doesn't even look like he's stressed. It's like, no, because I'm organized, which makes me efficient, which makes me productive. So, anyway, that's that. I don't know. Every week, I think that's better than talking about Canada for 45 minutes. But literally, it's like the stress in the workplace thing, I think is a legit, and I also want to talk about work-life balance too, eventually someday. But I think that, it's just crazy. Go to work, legitimately go to work and just look around. People are just freaking out all the time, and I think I legit read books on it, and I just kind of now I could go into detail on each one of these a little bit more, um, but that's basically what I got. I got my little planner. I make lists every single day of what I need to prioritize them, and then I have that master list. Like I say, that's just kind of a on a on a notebook paper that you just master list, right? Something, clean the basement, that goes on the master list, right? And then eventually, when it works out, throw it on the to-do list and knock it out. Um, Emails. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm excited for the emails. We got quite a few of them. First of all, I had a message from Dick Scratch. Remember old Dick Scratch? He hasn't sent anything in a while. But he sent me a message. Took a picture of his radio. He was listening to Jukebox Hero. Jukebox Hero got stars in his eyes. Oh yeah, baby. And he was listening to Jukebox Hero and sent me a picture of it and said, even if it's 10 degrees outside, this is still windows down, um, radio up type of weather. And I couldn't agree with you more. Um, Remember, if you want to send me a message, you can do so on Facebook at the Ordinary Average Guy podcast show. The Ordinary Average Guy podcast show on Facebook. I gotta apologize, guys. So I I'm before we get to the email here, I gotta quick tell you about my frickin' my New Year's resolutions, man. So I'm kicking it. I'm doing good. I'm not gonna lie to you. I know this episode kind of sounds like I'm bragging or whatever. Like, oh, this guy's not stressed and he's doing good at his resolutions. Well, look at him. But I'm doing all right. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm doing fine. I'm getting up in the morning. I read my Theodore Roosevelt book. I'm done with it. I gotta find a new book to read. To be honest with you, I didn't expect to get done with that book so quick, but I don't know, man. I'm killing it. I'm playing guitar in the morning. Steve Arnold from Kakana, he's the guy that I saw in the bar that night. And I talked to him a little bit via Facebook here. Definitely not see him again, but a couple weeks ago I talked about a guy from Kakana playing kick-ass guitar. Steve Arnold was his name. But I'm playing guitar in the morning. I'm just feeling good about it. Unfortunately, I took my last Zin on Saturday, and I'm not buying them anymore. So I'm I got the effects. I'm not gonna lie to you. I got the effects. The nicotine effects are it's tough. I'm doing it. I'm doing the episode right now. I never should have started that son of. I should just never should have started. And in hindsight, I didn't gain anything from it. I was hoping to lose a bunch of weight. I didn't, and I didn't. I never lost any weight. Now I'm trying to give it up. And the thing is, I honestly will go. I'll go to the grave and tell you that nicotine isn't bad for you. Nicotine in its pure form, like in a Zyn. I don't think it's that bad for you. As a matter of fact, the research I've seen is it's probably good for you, if anything. It's just that it's costing, it's a lot of money. That's the only reason I'm giving it up. It's because of the money. $6 a tin or whatever. And I tried the other ones, and I just don't like the other ones. Zyn is the only one I ever liked. Um, and what can I tell you? And so I don't know. Hopefully things get a little better. um, anyway, so back to what else? How's resolutions going? Oh, sugar thing too, guys. I haven't had sugar, so I'm just like not doing no sugar. The nicotine is gone. I the caffeine is very limited, but I'm but I am feeling better, if you can believe it or not. So anyway, we got one from here from Benjamin. Benjamin. Hello, J-Kenn. Was curious on your opinion on a few topics. With you being a big wrestling fan, that I am, who all watched Monday Night Raw on Netflix last week. I'm recording this on Monday the 13th, my mother's birthday. Tonight is, and I gotta know, and I can either go to the bar and watch the Viking game with some buddies of mine, or I can stay home and watch Raw on Netflix. The thing about Raw on Netflix is it's on Netflix. You can watch it tomorrow, so it's pretty cool. With you being anyway, the show was. I don't like the fact that they didn't talk about Gunther is the champion of Raw, the Raw World Heavyweight Champion, and they didn't even like he didn't even. I don't know. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. But whatever. What do I know? What do I know? I'm just a stupid idiot talking to himself in his basement. So, with you being a big wrestling fan, which version of Kane is your favorite? Original Kane, which is the mask on, doesn't talk, badass version. I think I know what your favorite version was. Kane when he was unmasked with no hair. Kane later in his career. Um, Kane. All right. When they put the mask back on him and he did some funny gimmicky type stuff. Then there are also different versions of Kane popping up at indie shows and lower levels of wrestling. A few, a few a few I've seen have been Coke Kane. That's funny. White and black bodysuit and Gain rainbow bodysuit and dances. Also Candy Cane at the end with the red and white bodysuit. All right, first thing about Kane. The original version obviously is the best version. That as a kid scared the living crap out of me. It's when he used to do like the head tilt. That scared. I mean, how old would I have been? He came out I think in 97 or 98. 10, 11 years old. Dude, that freaked me out. And he was just a dominant presence. He was definitely when him and the Undertaker were having that feud and they were having like Inferno matches and shit like that. That was definitely the coolest version of Kane. Now, as a comedian, I did like that when him and no, I wasn't watching wrestling as much at the time, but him and Daniel Bryan or whatever the hell he's Brian Danielson or whatever the hell he's called now. They were doing this little thing where they were having therapy and stuff. If you ever look that up on YouTube, that's kind of funny. I give Kane credit. Uh, he and now he's a mayor of a city in Tennessee. I give him credit. Glenn Jacobs is his name. Yeah, Glenn Jake. Or no, that was his. That was another wrestling name. I don't fucking remember. Isaac Yankem. No. Glenn Jacobs is his name. Isaac Yankem is what I'm. He used to be a dentist or something. But yeah, definitely the original version of Kane by far, by far. That goes without saying. And then there was when he was corporate Kane. Remember that? I don't know. He Benjamin goes on to say, "I believe in your Christmas podcast. You talk about how there are no new Christmas songs. It reminded me of how my wife and I were talking about how there is never original music in movies anymore. It's always just songs from artists on the radio. I miss John Williams composing new music for each movie. It needs to make a comeback. Um, John John Williams. I don't even know who that is. Um, but like there's Randy Newman. Remember Randy, right? Randy Newman. Yeah, I agree. Well, I'm trying to think. John Williams, American composer and conductor. Oh, okay, so he did like Schindler's List. Whoa, he did. Okay, so this is the guy that did like Raiders of the Lost Ark, Home Alone, Jaws. Oh, I see what you're saying, dude. Okay, I see what you're saying, dude. I thought, yeah, a movie composition, definitely, without a doubt. Nowadays, there isn't like that anymore. Um, like E.T. Dun 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 dun. Just stuff like that. Nowadays, movies don't really have that. Every movie's got like a movie score. They call it a score, where it's just some music in the background. But there isn't like that's Schindler's List. I even that music I bought that. I don't know even, or maybe I got it on LimeWire or whatever back in the day. But I got that on my iPad, and I would listen to Schindler's List. If you like listening to good movie scores, Schindler's List is a good one. Um, well, they gotta have some movie scores because they freaking hand out the awards every year, don't they? I don't know. You're absolutely right, though. That's I don't know. Movies are kind of going downhill. But I agree with you, John Williams. Thanks for bringing him up. I didn't realize that he did all these classics. Home Alone. Yeah, Schindler's List. Um, what the hell am I talking about? Schindler's List. Shawshank Redemption is what I'm talking about. Shawshank Redemption. Jurassic Park. He did. Star Wars. Yeah, guys, I'm telling you, if you like just good music, go down um John Williams movie scores. Lastly, I have an unordinary opinion. Maybe a lot of people think this. I'm not really sure. I think the Beatles suck. All their songs are garbage. Go back to England. I don't think a single one of their songs I'd put the windows down to. Benjamin. Well, I'm not going to agree with you. I think that definitely is an unordinary opinion about the Beatles. I think the Beatles to you is what like Queen is to me. There's I I will say that the Beatles are not my favorite band, obviously, that goes without saying, but they're not even my favorite band from England. As a matter of fact, I think they're not even in my top 5 bands from England. Like I definitely like The Who a lot more, Led Zeppelin. Um, than me, I'm kind of like I got that I like Black Sabbath. Um, Pink Floyd, the Beatles, but I will say that I get why the Beatles are popular. And especially, they do have some cool songs. I would like, but I like all kinds of music. Like, I just was listening to Norwegian Wood by the Beatles. That's a nice song. Um, that's a nice song, especially because I was try to play it on guitar. So I hear what you're saying, man. I get what you're saying. I think I, if the I wonder one would wonder if the Beatles would be over. I don't know. Are they overrated or not? That's a perfect question. I should put that on Facebook. Are the Beatles overrated? Are they overrated? You know what I mean? Like why are they so because I was looking at like their records, and a lot of songs are like covers that they were doing, and Twist and Shout, that song, that's like a cover. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, they got some cool things here and there, but I mean, they only lasted. 10 years or whatever, right? They only lasted 10 years or some bullshit like that. Um, I don't know. Maybe they are overrated. But they don't suck. I'll say that they don't suck. Um, Man, we're still on emails here. This one's from Hen. Hey J-Kenn, this year I decided to make a list of goals to accomplish this year. Good for you. Fantastic. Pretty much the same as resolutions. I also made a list of predictions for the upcoming year, hoping I get all three correct. Only time will tell. Here are my lists. Goals. Number one, learn taxidermy for deer heads. Ooh. All right, cool. That'd be interesting to see. I just every time I hear taxidermy, I think of Norman Bates. No offense, but it's just it's good to have a taxidermy friend for a lot of reasons. Start taxidermy business. Oh, look at you! Start the business. Learn and start the business all in 1 year. Um, number three, one carb food item a day or less. So I'm assuming like, okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah, like a main carb, like bread or some shit. Um, this is such a classic Wisconsin goal. No soda unless it's in a mixer. That's like that. I've said that about myself too. I'm not drinking soda unless it's in a mixer. Number five, one item a week of candy slash dessert. Very good goals. Very good goals. Um, and the carb too. Like, well, I don't know. I don't know. It depends what you're trying to do, but maybe Whole Foods. I don't know. It depends what you call a carb. Like a banana, would that be a carb food? You know, I would assume you're gonna say no, but there is a lot of carbs in that, so I don't know. But yeah, good goals. I like it. Predictions. Number one, J-Kenn wins the weight loss championship. Thank you, broski. I Yeah, I'm hoping. Here's to hoping. I think I can pull it off. We'll see. Number two, the Buffalo Bills win the Super Bowl. I'm also going for that too, man. Packers got their asses kicked. I shouldn't say that. They didn't get their. There was just, it was just not a. There were some days that they didn't do good last night, right? They didn't do good last night. The Eagles beat them. The Eagles were a better team from the opening kickoff, and Packers, dude, they get there. It's just like I'm fortunate enough for my team has won two Super Bowls in my lifetime. Not a lot of people can say that. Not a lot of people can say that. As a matter of fact, if you're my age and you like the Vikings, the Lions, or the Bears, you can't say that because none of them have won any in our lifetime. Bears last time they won was '85. So the Buffalo Bills, man, they've been to four Super Bowls, lost them all. Um, but what I'm getting at is that the thing about the Packers is that every year like there's just some years where a team is just bad, right? And there's like, the Lions, the Bears. Uh, the Vikings always kind of are like, good and bad, good, bad, but good for the most part. Cleveland Brown, right? There's just some teams that are just bad, so you can root for them, and you're not. But with the Packers, you get your hopes up. Every year, you just kind of like get your hopes up, and I've learned not to get my hopes up anymore. So what I'm getting at is that I was rooting for the Packers, obviously first and foremost, but at the end of the day, I'm rooting for the Bills. I want the Bills to win the Super Bowl too. So that's your prediction. And if it's not the Bills, I hope it's the Lions. I know NFC North, but I don't really give a shit. I'm rooting for the Lions. Lions, Bills, Super Bowl is what I'm rooting for. Um, Number three prediction: Bill and Hillary Clinton will finally be brought to justice and will be sentenced to death by hanging for crimes against humanity. Much love, Hen. All right. Hey, I like that. I like that. I think you guys, if you want to write something in, this is a fun one. Predictions for 2025. Predictions for 2025. Write them in. I would love to read those on air. Um, I'll come up with some predictions as well. because I think that's a fantastic idea. J-Kenn, OAG at Outlook.com or Facebook. We got a email here from Balzac. Oh boy. Hello, J-Kenn. Your favorite villain is back again. Oh, okay. After celebrating the holidays, in quotes. I don't know why holidays in quotes. I don't get that. But okay, I have to agree with you on a couple of things. You have some good goals to achieve in 2025. Well, thank you, my man. Thank you, my man. I appreciate that. Now, with that said, you may never reach the greatness that you're trying to achieve. Oh fuck! I'm gonna reach it, mofo. I'm gonna reach it, and I'm gonna do, and it's gonna be awesome. But that's okay. It's still better than 80% of the people will do. He goes, my dental hygienist also bitches at me every 6 months, and she is the reason I am the heel I am. With the Royal Rumble coming up, if you want to smash your gums and talk some wrestling, I think that would be much appreciated. Okay, just a suggestion. Back to your goals. I am also working on sucking more water down the sucking. Okay, sorry. I'm also working on sucking more water down the old throat hole. Turning back to the form I once was. All of these zombies walking around, faces in their phones, bunch of tablet kids can suck it. Uh, I didn't have a cell phone until I was 22 years old. Shit, man. That's crazy. Um, 16. 16 I was. I couldn't get a phone until I was driving. Then I got one when I was 16. My brother had one like, I don't know, 12 or some shit. I don't know. Bunch of, yeah, I don't have it. Sounds much better. Nicotine is great, he says. But don't be stealing the zins from Lou across the office from you. Yeah, that's the thing. I gotta make sure I'm not bumming zins. That's the big one. Don't bum zins. He can't afford to buy for both of you. Um, he has a kid at home to feed. Now to really hammer on the craft beer topic. Drinking non-alcoholic beer is like drinking a butt fountain from a pheasant's ass crack. Jesus. You are better than that. One last thing. It was great to see the Bears kick the shit out of the Packers. Oh, yeah. So we missed emails from last week because I was not here, obviously. Um, and Josh tried to get it. I think, what did he do? Something. It was, I don't know what he tried. He tried to get on my emails, but he couldn't get in there. So, um, thanks you, Balzac, for the email. Appreciate it. Um, all right, we got Mel, an email from Mel here. She's got an email here for New Year's resolutions. New Year's resolutions. Number one, read at least 10 books. Good for you. That is fantastic. I think that's definitely doable. Book a month, right? No, a book every month and a third. I don't know. Book a month. Let's just go with, and then you got 2 extra months to help you out with those last. Yeah, it's good. Anyway, it's a good resolution. Number two, lose weight. Not sure how much is doable in one fast, but need to lose 70 pounds to get back to pre-baby weight. 70. Not sure how much is doable in one fast. In one fast, but need to lose. Okay, I'm gonna tell you right here, right now. Um, download the app My Net Diary. Okay, this is for anyone that's out there trying to lose weight. My wife's been doing it for a while. I didn't because I just got kind of sick of it. But there's My Fitness Pal. There's all these things out there that you can track your food on it, and I've used a lot of them. My what's it called? My Net Diary is what it's called. I don't have my phone on me because I gave up my phone, right? But download that app, track your food on that. You're gonna have to pay some money, right? You're gonna have to pay like $40 or whatever for a year, but you can AI. And I'm gonna talk more about AI in a little bit, But you can take a picture of your food. It scans it for you. You know, if you don't know what it is, you can put. It's just the easiest one to use on the market that I found. I've been using it. I love it. But you're gonna want to get that first and foremost. Number two, I'm telling you right now, and it's not like I'm just this genius or whatever. But if you really want to lose 70 pounds, you're gonna have to, dude. You just gotta just take it slow. All right. Do not do what I'm currently doing and try to lose a bunch of weight real fast. Take it slow. Right. A pound a week. A pound a week. In a year, you're 50. You know, that's fantastic, right? Pound and a half, whatever, pound and a quarter. But I'm sure you have, an Apple Watch or something like that. All the cool kids do. I have an Aura ring, and I like it. I like it. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, it was expensive, but I used HSA money to buy it. But you want to keep track of that shit, right? You want to be active. You're active, so yeah, I know who you are. You're active. You're running around and stuff, right? So yeah, what you want to do is get that My Fitness. Now you might have another app. I'm not saying you don't. But I'm just saying that My Fitness. God, I don't even know if that's the name of it. My Net Diary is what it's called. I think. I gotta look it up. Hold on. This episode is probably not that good. My Net Diary. Yeah, that's what it is. My Net Diary. It's free calorie counter and diet assistant, but you can pay and then you can use some more stuff, which you're gonna probably have to pay for, as I did. She goes on to say, bedtime. I am a hardcore morning person. I love them. Yes, yes, yes to the routine. Okay, I think she's talking about me. I set my alarm for 3:45. Get out of bed between 4:25 and 4:30. Throw on gym clothes, go to the gym, and then come back and get shit done. If my schedule allows, I'm in bed between 7 and 8. Whoa, bro. That's pretty cool. Good for you. That's cool, man. I wish this was me. I wish this was me. I've been getting up at 5. I'm getting up at 5. I don't work out in the morning though. I mean, kind of. Well, I get it. I do fit it into my day, but dude. So you're getting up. You're going to the gym. You're gonna lose this 70 pounds, no problem. Get the My Net Diary though, and that because the cool thing about that is, let's say you want to do like a certain diet, right? I mean, diet isn't lifestyle. You can type that in, and they'll kind of put your macronutrients to that or whatever. Um, yeah, fun stuff. Glad I could help you out. Maybe you knew about that already. Last email from our buddy Lou Sassel. We need some Nigel Lennox t-shirts in the merch store. We need a merch store. Love, Lou Sassel. Yeah, man. I'm gonna work on it. I think we should do it. I think we should do it. The tens and tens of people can buy shirts. Um, Nigel Lennox. That would be. I wonder if he's got shirts. I should have asked him. When I saw him, if he had. I doubt it though. That guy, that Nigel Lennox, he's a goof. He's a care. He is. I mean, I like the guy. I think he's got an awesome story. I think he's got fantastic. The songs that he was a part of are awesome. Um, but he's kind of a odd duck. I don't think he's probably gonna have shirts. So I should reach out to him and see if we can make some shirts and sell them on his behalf. But I did think of an idea for the Ordinary Everyday podcast show. I want to I was listening to some Limp Bizkit the other day, and this was like chocolate starfish or something, and they had like the parental advisory sticker. And I think this has probably been done before, but I want to take that format and put Ordinary Everyday podcast show, put that on a shirt. I think that'd be kind of funny. So yeah, we'll see if we can figure it out and do it. So again, J-Kenn, OAG at Outlook.com. The Ordinary Object Guy Podcast Show on Facebook. Unordinary Opinion. AI, dude. AI. It's all over the place. It's taken. It's just freaking me out. It's freaking me out. I don't know if people are actually excited about this or not. I personally am freaked out by it, and I'm curious if there's anyone that listens to the show that maybe knows a little bit more about it, that would be interested in being on the show. Oh yeah, there it is, man. Be on the show, and we can talk about AI, because I think, dude, I think we need to pump the brakes on some of this stuff. And I don't want to sound like the old man sitting on his porch, but I'm thinking we got to pump the brakes on some of this stuff. What's the point of human beings if you just, have these robots? Um, I don't know. I just the creativity, right? I was talking to a buddy. Josh was telling me this. He said that you can write a book with AI. You just type in like a couple of, the plot, if you will. Maybe you don't even have to do that. You type in some characters' names, and it'll write you a book, a novel. Um, Art. I on podcast here, I could have a AI co-host, which it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know who is with me, who is against me. I don't know. Should we pump the brakes on some of this stuff? I mean, can we just like stop progressing so much? Like, what's wrong with just the way it is, things the way they are? What's wrong with things the way they are? I mean, I'm doing a podcast in the Bucks Duty studio here, which is my basement. Who would have thought that that would be possible? Uh, in the '90s, right? Um, this is about as cool as I think it should get. But AI, man, it's just kind of freaking me out. Now it is and the thing is that it's like cool, but at the same time, when I like on this MyNet Diary app that I have, you can take a picture of something. It is kind of free. It's cool, and it is kind of weird how accurate it is. Um, but I don't know. It's just so there's some goods and things about it, but at the same time, it's just like Jesus. I don't know. I would love to talk to somebody about it. If you are interested in being a guest on the show, email me, jkennoag@outlook.com, or message me on the Facebook. I definitely want to have more guests on the show. Um, I think they are better. Those episodes seem to do better. Song of the week. Okay, I was working out on the treadmill the other day, and I went down a uh, Chris Cornell rabbit hole. Obviously, the lead singer of Soundgarden, but twist. Here's a twist. I'm not going to do a Soundgarden song, nor am I going to do a Chris Cornell solo song, nor am I going to do an Audio Slave song. That's right. I'm going to do a song by the Zach Brown Band. Yes, the country guy, Zach, little bit of chicken fry, cold beer on a Friday night. That guy, the Zach Brown band. In 2016, I believe it was, he came out with a record called Jekyll and Hyde, right? And there's a song on that record that features Chris Cornell. The song is called Heavy is the Head. If you like uh, Zach Brown band, right? Or if you like Chris Cornell, this is this reminds me of like a southern rock song, right? So it reminds me of like a modern day southern rock song, if that makes any sense. But I'm telling you, it rock and rolls. Heavy is the Head, featuring Chris Cornell by the Zac Brown Band. Go check it out. Um, it's pretty sweet, dude. It's pretty sweet. Chris Cornell, I would argue for days had the best voice and yeah, the best voice and for sure grunge, obviously, if not rock and roll. It was one of a kind. R.I.P. R.I.P. Okay, well on that note, see you next week.